Not
I'm
bad.
like turning into a history buff. We all know that's early onset Republican.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Three RoOs podcast. Welcome to Three RoOs podcast. Today's guest is my buddy Sue. Rich is MIA for a little bit, and Seth is taking care of his kids, so we're a little off today, but we're pushing on ahead. Sue and I were in the same fraternity together, so similar to who else do we have on EJ, Caboose, and Shawnee, all part of the same fraternity. Sue, I don't know if you want to say a few words about yourself.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. First time ever doing a podcast ever. Never thought in my life I'd ever be on a podcast. So thank you for the invite. Happy to get started. Happy to be here. Don't know what to talk about, but we'll figure it out. We'll go and
Yeah, we have
we'll
a
have
real lot
fun.
of listeners, so
Yeah, we'll have
Hey,
fun.
we're popping. We're up to what? 4 subscribers now? 5 subscribers? Come
Oh, I'm gonna be number five, six.
we've got
on.
I don't well, Spotify like doesn't tell you how many you have, but YouTube's what the fuck?
That's
YouTube
just a child. It's fine.
Just make sure to say
YouTube says we
that.
have seven, and I think three of them are Rich, Seth, and I. So
Probably. Before we dive in, we just need to make this happen because basically 90% of our guest list has been your fraternity. We probably should just do a fraternity episode where you get as many guys as we could in on the episode. That'd be a wild ride.
like you get all of us in person or something like that, and then we call you and Rich in, and then we're just
That'd be that'd
bullshitting.
be that'd be even better. I think if you guys were like at one of your events or something, you guys are like, screw it, let's just do like a half hour quick hit with Rich and Seth.
I like it. I think I could plan something out.
I feel
Maybe
like if like that happens, like just the alcohol will be flowing, and then like people just like say the wrong thing, like they don't want on the internet forever.
yeah, that's why we don't live stream any of this, and I can go back and edit shit.
How is the editing? Is it a lot of work to go back and edit a lot of stuff?
No, I use a program called CapCut. And so Zoom will download a file, and then I could just go back and kind of cut pieces up. Sometimes I don't have to do much at all. We'll cut like little YouTube shorts and stuff out, but um,
Um,
yeah, most
you
episodes I
post it
really
on
don't have to do much except add a little intro thing and whatever. So
you post it on YouTube as well.
yeah, we put it on YouTube, Spotify. Spotify has this thing where you could I think through an RSS feed you can link it to other platforms. So we upload it to Spotify, and then it goes to Apple, Google, and stuff like that too. Pretty cool.
Like the video portion is on Spotify.
Yeah, videos on Spotify, videos on YouTube, but I think Apple's only got like Apple and Google only have the audio.
You guys are high tech. You guys are
Yeah,
really
super high tech. There's some like fancy things you can do. Some programs you could pay for that like make like this screen that we're looking at here like all fancy and shit, but I'm not trying to pay for that yet, and not if I don't have anybody listening.
what's like what if I don't you don't mind me asking what's like the goal? You just have fun. You guys want to like make a brand. You guys want to eventually like expand. Like what do you guys like to do?
We've kind of
Or
debated
Seth,
on it
Seth can get
ourselves.
Seth
Uh,
can answer too.
I think the best part is like that we've gotten together every week, pretty much since June, um, almost every week, and just got on online and bullshitted with each other, which has been cool because like as you get older, you don't actually get to talk to friends that frequently, or you kind of forget or whatever.
Yeah.
So
It's good to
that's
have
been
like
cool.
something around every week and just like always have like plans to just hang out and new guests, new friends to catch up with too.
Yeah, it's been cool. So then I don't know if it takes off. Like that's why we're like doing the shorts and stuff. And if ever get any listeners, that'd be cool. But I think we'd starting to have guests that we don't know already. Like we kind of like
Really?
basically been like
We need someone famous. Do you know anybody famous? That's what we need to start asking people. Do you know anyone famous?
So
It turns out it's really hard to get famous if you have no connection to famous.
yeah. Well, good. We went out to dinner with Dan, Emily, Caboose, and Lily like last week or a week ago, and so at some point they suggested I apply for Survivor. So maybe if I get accepted or whatever, pick for
I mean,
Survivor.
if Survivor, I don't know if it's if I don't know if Survivor is a real show. If like if you actually need to do survivorship skills, but you'd be great for that show.
Yeah,
Or
I don't
Man
know
versus
either, but
You'd be good for Man versus Wild. Survivor is just about who can create the most drama and like actually like during I think I was actually had COVID one time and I was so like sick at home and I didn't know what to do. So I watched like Survivor, but it was I didn't know I knew I wasn't gonna go through like however many seasons, like 20 seasons. So there's like a one like last season of Survivor. It's like they get all like the best guests together and they do one season together. So I watched that one. That was like the most entertaining.
okay. Yeah, I haven't watched any, so if for
Oh,
some
okay.
reason I do get picked, I might have to like do a little research.
Well, you have to work on your survivorship skills, but you also like have to know how to stir up drama. So
Yeah, there's like a lot of social shit involved, right? Like aligning with people, getting on teams, and making sure you don't get voted out too.
like there's competitions and the person like say you're like super athletic and you're good at every competition, swimming or hiking, whatever it is, they'll just vote you off. You're like, oh, you're like a threat. So like that'd be you like being super competitive and then you just get voted off. You're just like this person's a threat to all of us. Let's get him out of here.
So got to go middle of the pack, Roger.
Yeah. Like the one season I watched, like the winner ended up being like this like super like not athletic girl who was just good at like talking to people and like getting people to like pit each other against each other and stuff like that.
Hmm.
You
Yeah, I don't
gotta
know.
you gotta try hard, but not too hard. But you gotta make it look like you're trying hard.
I don't know if I'll be good at that. But looks like Rich is joining. Oh, not bad timing. We'll jump into your travel journey here once he gets fired up. But yeah. Oh, the reason why Dan and Emily suggested that is because I was doing, or Dan and Emily recently suggested that is because I was doing a 4-day fast at the time, and so I most I had ever done was the day before, and so like 4 days was rough.
Dude, every time I catch up, you always doing like another crazy ass fucking thing. Like I'm not like, oh yeah, I just ran 100 miles, but then I added another seven because I fucked up, or I'm not drinking for a whole year, or like, or this now 4 day fast. What is the purpose of it? Or if you talked about it already, I don't know.
No, it was just a challenge. Because I haven't been able to run because my knees, my shins been a little fucked up. Up until this last week, so I just needed like the mental challenge. I don't know.
And obviously you're drinking water, but like any solid food at all.
Nothing solid, just black coffee, black tea, couple cups of those a day. So have you met Rich before?
Yeah, we met at the bachelor party. Is Seth here or no?
He's he's
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
here.
Oh, that's right. You're dialed in.
he's in dad mode.
Bro, I'm always dialed in. 24/7, 365.
Here you are.
Well,
Okay, so
thanks for being accommodating. I know you guys do it.
Yes.
so now that Rich is here, we can dig into what we got on the topic list here. So you recently got back from a 3-month long travel trip, right, Sue?
Yeah, it was good. So I knew that I was going to go to grad school full time. I had already applied and I already got into grad school full time. So I purposely left my job through like 3.5 months early so I could block off a time and just like solo travel like all over Asia and a few cities in Europe. And that was from I think that was basically the entire summer. It was like a little less than 3 months total. So it was all over Asia. I wrote down on the sheet all the places. Like sometimes I forget. So I went all over Thailand, like the north of Thailand and the south, and then Cambodia, and then Vietnam, and then Bali, and then Singapore, and then I flew to from Singapore. That was my last place in Asia, and then I went from Asia to Portugal, Lisbon, and then all over Portugal for a whole week, and then I went to Berlin, Prague, Krakow in Poland, and then Budapest, Hungary, and then that was the last stop. It was a lot of fun, once in a lifetime type of thing. I don't know if we're ever gonna get 3 months to just like travel by yourself. So
Nah, man, I was so jealous looking at your like Instagram stories once in a while. I'm like, damn, this looks like a fucking blast.
Yeah.
What was your
I
favorite
think
place?
like my favorite place was Bali, probably in Indonesia. It's just an island that's just like great vibes and drinking and partying, or also like chilling and just it could be like a people use it as like a spiritual retreat type of place. I didn't really do that part too much, but in terms of like beaches and vibes and good stuff.
Yep. Did you like plan out the whole trip ahead of time, or did you kind of just like go wherever
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wind took
So
you?
like I knew like I was gonna 3 months is a long time to like stay at hotels. A little expensive, too expensive to stay at hotels the entire time. So I was staying at hostels the entire time, and also like that's another place where all their solo travelers all meet together. So like every city I was going to, I stayed at hostels the entire time and like met other solo travelers. So I research. I'm a, like planning, so I researched like all the best hostels that had like the best reviews, and I had like a full itinerary, and I knew like at this city I already had a place, like an accommodation, like this hostel is good and it's like fun and they take you out on park crawls and stuff like that. And so I had it all planned out. The one that it's good because it gives you peace of mind and like you can relax in that sense, but like also does kind of take out a little bit of spontaneity from it, because like I'd go to a like a new place in, like, for example, I started in Bangkok, and then I went north to Chiang Mai in Thailand, and then after that I was going to leave the north and go all the way south, but then all the people I met at that hostel were like going to another city up. I didn't really get to that type of spontaneity. Some people like booked a one-way ticket and then they were just going to figure out like, oh, like it seems like everyone that I'm meeting is going to go to this location next, I'll go there too. Like i don't have the I don't have the patience or the spontaneity to do that. I had like a
The
very
balls.
like
I don't have the balls to do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Damn. So did you like? Do they speak English in most places? Do they take like a Visa card most places? Like how does that all work? I guess I don't really know.
Yeah, actually I was very surprised. Like I never had like problem with language barrier. I really all in Thailand, like everyone spoke English. Unless I went to a like a local restaurant or like a food cart or something like that, like I would have to just point at the menu to try to get food or use Google Translate on my phone. But for the most part, I was like very surprised. Everywhere in the world, everyone speaks English, at least where I went.
Yeah, damn. Never would have thought that was true.
Yeah.
And
And
like
then
you could just use your like regular credit cards everywhere essentially.
a lot of places don't take American Express, so I was kind of useless. But I had my Chase card everywhere, and there's no international fees, and I just use that everywhere.
Ah, dope. Okay.
Yeah,
Chase Sapphire.
yeah, the Chase preferred, the one step below the Big Daddy Reserve.
Gotcha,
The-
gotcha. That's good to know.
Yeah, that is good to know. I because Amanda's been like wanting to do our honeymoon sometime soon because we never did one, and I was thinking like trying to do something to like Greece like everybody does, but I don't think I've traveled outside of Air Force stuff to Europe ever. So
If you ever want to go, I mean, it seems like Europe is like a honeymoon type of destination, but if you ever want to go, I highly recommend going to Portugal. So, like, I met Nikita, and I was all over Asia, and then I met Nikita in Portugal. She flew from New Jersey, and I flew from Singapore, and we met up in Portugal for a whole week and spent the whole week together. It was like a really, really nice destination. If you like, for you can go to Lisbon, which is like a nice city with like museums and stuff like that, or you can go to Douro Valley. It's like the Napa Valley of Portugal, or you can go
hmm.
there's a lot of stuff you can do. So if you want recommendations on Portugal, and it's very affordable. So
Yeah,
Is
oh
it?
yeah.
Did you? I think a lot of people are going there now. And a lot of people say they absolutely love it. Did you go to this? There's this place. There's like literally 100-foot waves, and people will surf those waves. Do you know? Do you know what I'm talking about?
maybe
And if you
I didn't
wouldn't, you
see
would
any.
know. There's there's
Okay,
a
yeah.
hundred, yeah, there's 100 foot waves, like quite literally, and people will get up and they'll surf, and obviously it's super dangerous. But you always see like videos of people like lining the coastline at cliffside. And I don't know if there was like a church there. I think there's got to be like a lighthouse. But there's literally like 100 foot waves that people just like they're like
Wow.
minuscule, just coming down this wave. Yeah, it's awesome. I would love to see that if I ever go over there. I really should. I gotta make a
How does
plan.
it consistently generate 100-foot waves? That'd be,
I don't know.
is it called Nazar?
That might be
Is it
it.
Nazare? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that is it. It's just yeah, like go on YouTube and type in like Portugal 100 foot wave surfers, and I mean it's incredible to see.
Right.
Yeah, I
Do
don't know
you
how
surf at
they.
all?
No, I don't. I don't. I lived in California and LA for a little bit, and that would have been a good place to probably like start. Right, that's like kind of part of the culture there. And I used to like in the morning before work sometimes, or on like the weekends maybe early. I'd get up and I'd go get a coffee and I'd go to the beach and I would just drink a coffee, watching all the surfers like do their thing. Like it seemed like every morning there was a bunch of surfers. Um, but and before I left LA, I was like, you know what? There's like lessons. I should just do it. Sometimes I'm kind of like that. I'm like, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try that. Like I learned how to ride a horse like last year, right? Just like, man, fuck it. Like life is short. Just try different things. And surfing is one of those things I meant to try, and then life had other plans, and I got on a plane and moved somewhere else. But no, long story short, no. But I mean, even if I did, no way in hell would I get the 100 foot waves. You're like you're just asking for death.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's insane.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Still time to learn. You do like
Still,
wake, wake, wakeboarding or something in the introduction to surfing.
yeah. I did try. Wait, yeah. Wakeboarding, you like you throw the one down and you kind of yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's what
tried that in Cali. I did buy a wakeboard. Fucking busted my ass a million times on that thing.
There's
But
another one now that's got like a. I've seen people do. Where the hell was it? I think like down the shore or on Block Island. It's just like a surfboard with a motor, and they're kind of above the
oh
water.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know
I've
what the
seen
hell that
that.
one is.
People in I was down in Florida in the Gulf, and somebody had one of those things.
What the fuck is it called, sir?
It looks fun. It looks really fun.
It feels like it looks like you gotta have like incredible balance because it's
You
got
gotta
like
like
some
you gotta like pump it though too. Like you gotta kind of like you gotta go like this, and like it makes you go higher and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know
foil
how to motor.
board.
What is it called?
Foil board.
An oil board? Okay.
Foil FFOIL.
Oh, for okay. Oh, maybe yeah, maybe some. I'm trying to remember. I asked somebody what that was. I mean, I'm all about the shallows. Like like going up to my maybe my chest. Like I could still see through the water, but like but like I feel like the people that are out there, I don't know. There's something about the ocean that when you can't see or you're just like a little deep, man, I start to nah, fuck that. The most scared I think I ever felt in my life was actually I was in Charleston and I was out in the water and then I was facing the shore, but somebody was facing out. And all of a sudden they freak out. And I'm like, what did you see? And they're like, what did they say? They're like, that sketched me out was all they said, but they're like running against the water as fast as they can. And I turn around and I see like a black fin. So I'm like, oh shit, right? So I'm trying to go, but you're going nowhere, right? And then I look back and I'm like, is that a orca? Like, what is that? Like, it was like a huge black fin, but I mean, why would there be one in Charleston? It ended up being like a dolphin. But I literally felt like I was like just waiting to have somebody kind of come up and just like a shark and just like a megalodon and just bite me in half.
You always think like you can never be a victim of like an attack or like something like that until like it actually happens or you actually see a
Yeah,
shark.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
sharks. You always hear like a story about like a shark sighting in New Jersey, like in the Jersey Shore, like regular
Right.
beach.
I mean, when you think about how big the damn ocean is, and like, I mean, you fuck up and like go the wrong direction, or you get swept out to sea, you're not making it. I mean, it's isn't like what like 2/3 of the world is covered by the ocean. Like
Yeah, or
that's
3/4 or something like that. Yeah.
that's crazy to think about. So during this travel trip, or I guess when you got home from the travel trip, did it like make you like were you more grateful to be a US citizen, or you're like shit, maybe some of these other countries are better than the US? I like how did you feel when you got back? Or did you think about that at all?
I think it wasn't like so much like, oh my God, I'm back in the United States, thank God, or fuck, I'm back in the United States. It was just like a gradual transition back to the United States. I think there's so many comforts here that we just like, I don't know, you can just get anything anytime you want on food or snacks or medicine or anything, any convenience store, or like, I don't know, the weather. It's not like blaringly hot all the time. Like that's just what you have to deal with all the time. It's just like little things. But culturally, I think like I definitely just wanted to learn about like how other people lived and what their culture was like. And I don't know, I think in America, like since like when everybody graduates high school, college, and just starts working right away, so nobody has like this time to travel. Like I've met like people from Europe or other people in Asia though, like just taking extended time, like a gap year or something like that, and it's like very normal. Like just go learn about country that you don't live in. I think like America are kind of lacking that. That's why I wanted to. That's kind of why I wanted to go to.
Yeah, I'd agree. I feel like you get so much more life experience. You're more understanding of other cultures. You're not. I don't know. I feel like it's just a great experience to have, especially especially if you did it like 18 years old or 22 years old, right when you get out of high school or college. I mean, it might go a little wild. Maybe a little more mature, I guess.
Yeah. So one part of the trip was just like fuck. I just want to like have a lot of fun. Like 29 years old, be 30 like soon. It's kind of like my last hurrah. Like that's one big part of it. The second big part of it is like, yeah, I want to learn about the world. I have like barely went to any countries abroad. I just want to like learn. And the third part of it was like I never done anything like this by myself, and I kind of want to like really step out of my comfort zone and just like see what I'm like spending 3 months by yourself and not knowing, like having to go navigate all these airports and trains and buses, all this stuff by yourself in random countries and like in the middle of Asia, in the middle of nowhere,
Yep.
and also just showing up to a brand new city, not knowing a single person, and like having to make your way and make friends. And there were a lot of times you get like super nervous, like, oh, I'm like going to like this city in Cambodia, not knowing a single person, and then you go to the hostel, and then you really have to like push yourself to get out of your comfort zone, just like meet people, go on all these like tours, and then by the end of it, you're like sad to leave. Like, damn, I like made so many friends now. I'm like, now I have to like leave them and start over and go to the next place. So that part of it was kind of sad. So I did meet like a lot of like fellow travelers, and like we made friends. I added them on Instagram, whoever I remembered to, and it was kind of sad. It's like you spend like 2 3 days like really getting to know people, and also, side note, people will be very open and willing to share a lot about their lives that they know that you're never going to see them ever again. So I would just feel like
Right.
here to ask like stories about people's lives and relationships and what they do back then and what they wanted with like no like filter, because I guess why have a filter, because you're never gonna see them again, and then that's it. You never see them again
You're
unless
like,
they come
damn, my
from.
boys back at home don't even open up to me like this. This is weird.
Do you think you grew like spiritually, or I don't know if that's the word, but like do you feel
I'm
more
not,
connected to the world and other people?
I'm not a super spiritual person. The most spirit like I get the question. Like the most like spiritual thing I did, like I really like wanted to step out of my comfort zone, do something I would never in the United States ever do. So when I was in Bali, I booked this 4 days, 3 nights like yoga and meditation retreat up in like the middle of nowhere, like Bali. You have to like the cabs don't even like pick you up from there. You have to like ask them to pick you up. I like went in the middle of nowhere, and like only the people there. It's like a big village, like a little village. Like you just do that, and you just like eat whatever they give you, like healthy food, and like just reflect on your own, I guess, and just do yoga 3 times a day and just meditate. And
Yeah.
that was different for me
That
because
sounds
I
awesome.
never did. Yeah, I never like did anything like that. So that was good. Is I tried to like, maybe I'll try to like do yoga and start meditating now, but that was the most spiritual I would get. But in
Was it
terms of like the worldly, I'm not sure yet.
was
Yeah.
like guided meditation? or was it like they
Yeah,
walk you
yeah,
through it
no,
as you're?
it was all in classes. So like you would do the yoga morning, and then like before you started, you would like say all these like praises about like how it's like you should be very grateful to like be able to do this and be here, and um you know you're just like a citizen of this universe trying to like make your way, like you're doing okay type of thing. You do that for like 15-20 minutes, and then you do like an hour and a half of yoga, and then everything was like very planned, and then you'd go to like breakfast, and then you'd have like an activity, and then you have downtime, and then you do yoga again, and then downtime, another nighttime activity, and then yoga again. So,
You're all stretched out.
yeah. Also, like one of the only guys there, as you can imagine, no guys doing this shit. And like, I did not realize how unflexible guys are. Like, it's it's terrible. Like they always say like, oh, do like what's comfortable for you. Like it's just for you. Like you just, let your body like do like listen to your body type of thing. Like my body's telling me like, dude, what are you doing?
Why are you trying to do this shit, man?
Yeah.
I hate the feeling of like stretching my hamstrings or just my legs in general. My hamstrings are absurdly tight, and I feel like I always strain them if I'm like doing something. And it makes me nauseous. I hate
Yeah.
it.
I feel like we could all actually like use like an hour of stretching a day, but
Oh,
nobody
for
fucking does
sure
it
we
because it's
should.
so annoying.
Yeah, man. No, I just get up in the morning. I do one of these where I'm shaking, squeeze out a fart, and I'm ready for the day. It's that simple.
I can't even like sit, like sitting pretzel style on the floor. Like I can't even do that because my hips are like not flexible.
Really?
Really, they're that
Yeah, I have to
bad?
like work on. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's getting better because I'm trying, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do
You
you
can
think?
imagine someone like that doing yoga.
Yeah. Do you think, like, to kind of go back to the question about being connected? Obviously, you've met with a lot of strangers. You've had a lot of conversations. You have people really open. There's probably like a lot of stories that you heard that you probably never thought you would heard. I mean, is that like or you'd hear? Is that like a fair statement? Do you feel like you coming off of that? Do you feel like when you like look at other people, you maybe are like less quick to maybe jump to a conclusion, or you're more empathetic? Maybe that's kind of like the way I meant to ask as far as spiritual, or I don't know, just more connected to like you I think you kind of you said it right, like you're like a citizen in this universe together, right? Or like Joe Rogan sometimes talks about how we're all just like an organism on the same planet. It's all like one living breathing thing. Has this trip and you connecting with other people kind of gotten you in more of that mindset, or do you just was it just kind of cool to see some new stuff but you haven't gone that deep?
I think it's in the middle. I think like I did. You have to go into every like new meeting with like zero like judgment of like you don't know who the person is, you don't know what
Yeah.
their story is, you know if they're running away from something from home or they're on the same thing as you, trying to just like make the most of like the last of their 20s or something like that. And when people like you do like actually make friends below like a surface level, just going to the bar together, yeah, you just hear about their lives and their families, and yeah, you try to be less judgmental, and you learn things about themselves at them that you would never think. And yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I was telling someone the other day because I was telling them some stories that I had. They were telling some stories that they had. And you're like, and you start thinking about some other people too, like because they were telling them, well, this person did this, and like everybody has a story, and like everybody's fighting a battle. Everyone's got some sort of baggage. Even the people that seem like they have it really good, they've got some sort of insecure. Like some of the best looking people are so insecure about the way they look, right? Like just little things. Everyone's got a story. And I'm like, you know what? It's kind of weird because you like every day you get on like I mean it's social media. We talked about this before, like the net we think it's a negative thing, but every day you get on social media you hear some sort of story, and quite often it's like the news or something on social media, and it's always like a lot of bad stuff, but you have everything being crammed down your throat all the time, and like you never take time to really connect one to one with like strangers and just like hear their story and be there for each other. Quite frankly, a lot of times between work and the shit you hear, you never really take time to just stop and kind of like process stuff that you've gone through and kind of like listen to yourself. So I think like, doing something like you did, like I noticed when I went to Europe, this was a little while ago at this point, but I was kind of like amazed by the fact that at like 2:30, 2 o'clock, they're just like drinking like a glass of wine, having a cigarette. Everyone's chilling. The culture's so much slower than it is in the US. and like you kind of like that is kind of off, right? It's different. And you come back and you definitely see a difference. But I do feel like that kind of changed my perspective on some stuff. And obviously, the longer you're here, it kind of changes back. But to your point about like the rest of the world, I think when I met a lot of Europeans, they were our age or my age, but they were older. They were more worldly because they had been like, I mean, it's easier for them because it's like going from France to Germany is like us going from New Jersey to Virginia, right? So it's a little easier. But still, like they were a lot more worldly. They were a lot more mature. They just had experienced a lot of things that Americans haven't. Americans are kind of like, in my opinion, it's like the go, 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 go. Like we talked about this the other night. Be a student, go to college, get a job, make a lot of money, buy a house, have kids. Like it's just like we have such a cookie cutter yet fast paced life where they're much more like I'm gonna go to like you did. Most 90% of Americans have not done what you did.
Probably more. Yeah.
Probably more. Probably more. Like they go to Disney World, you go
Yeah.
to the World Showcase, and you think you've been to like, well, it's just like Morocco. Like you couldn't believe it. It's just like Morocco. There's a belly dancer.
You go
people
around
saying some
Epcot.
ignorant shit. Yeah. Like that's that. Yeah, Epcot's like the American version of the gap year.
Did you try like take any leaps of faith and try any like crazy ass food while you were there? Like anything that like you're like
I'm not really like an adventurous eater. I like I don't even eat like clams or anything like that. But
damn.
Really? I
yeah,
love
but
clams.
in Thailand, like you've seen all like the videos or whatever, like in Thailand, they have like all this crazy, like really exotic food. Like you can eat a tarantula, you can eat scorpion, you can eat like ants, you can eat like crickets, like you can eat like there's like it's really bad, but there's like a shark fin soup, like that's like that you should definitely shouldn't because like cruelty and stuff like that.
That's
But
really
like
popular in I think a few Asian cultures.
yeah,
I've had it before.
yeah.
Have you
Actually,
really?
when I was in Cambodia and like we went on this like local like village tour where like a guy from the hostel like who lives there, he just like takes like two or three people, um, and he just takes them to the village and like, hey, this is like how we shop and this is what we do and stuff like that. This is like the local delicacies. And then like eating crickets was like to them like us eat like like eating like potato chips. And they're like, yeah, you have to try it. It's like I'm like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah. You guys don't cut up potatoes and deep fry them in like industrial byproduct level oils and then put them in your body? You don't do that with excessive amounts of salt?
Meanwhile, like the crickets are just like probably healthier. They're just like
For
taking animals,
sure.
putting
I've had
in
a
probably
cricket.
like some like clean oil, and then you just snack on them.
Yeah, I've had a cricket. It's actually not. If you can get past the fact that it's a cricket, it kind of is like a chip. It's crunchy. Yeah,
No added sugars, man. I'm sure they're super healthy for you.
that's there you go. No vegetable oil or anything like that.
There's probably a decent amount of protein. I can imagine,
You
right?
probably need to have like 100 crickets to have like 3 grams of protein.
Yeah, true.
So that's got to give you a stomach ache. All the little like sharp things on their legs or some shit going through your intestines.
How does someone like come up with the serving size of crickets? You're like you eat 17 crickets and you get 30 grams of protein.
Somebody told me like to get to calories and all that kind of stuff. Like they like burn. It has to do
Yeah.
with like they burn
Yeah.
it and all that.
That's how
Yeah.
you calculate calories, bro. Did you not take science class? Come on.
I mean, yeah, because I use that every day. I just look at the menu. I don't even look at the menu. Fuck it. But I mean, why did you ever burn a Big Mac? Did you do that in the science class?
No, but I burned a chip once, and I burned a piece of bread once. There was something else I can't remember, but we burned 3 different types of food, and then you do some big formula, because all calories is energy. That's all it is.
You American piece of shit, just burning food. This kid went around the world. I mean, come on, tell us about some of the starving cultures you spoke with. It's the most American thing I can say. What was like? What was You said healthy food at this retreat. Do you think that? Did you feel different eating the food over there? Do you feel like better?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, I stayed away from like a lot of like street food vendors because I didn't was like terrified of getting like food poisoning, like stuff that like a local person's stomach is used to, but like I would not be
Mm.
used to. But yeah, I was eating healthier food. The problem is I was like for it's really bad. For 3 months straight, I was drinking every single day, like every single day.
Like alcohol?
except yeah, alcohol, just beer
Like a
and
12 pack a day.
yeah. Except the like the random 3 days that I just did this 4 days that I did this retreat every single day. You go to a hostel and their job is to like, oh,
Detox
by
you.
the way, yeah, like every single hostel. I don't know if you guys ever stayed at a hostel. Like, so there's all these solo travelers. Sometimes there are people in small groups, but then there's the people who live in the country that work there, like staff, permanent staff. But then there's a middle tier of like people who just want to live there and like work at the hostel, and like their job is literally just hang out with you and go out with you and like make sure you have fun. So like, you go. That's a great job.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I,
Dude,
yeah,
I think you ended
and
up going to a rehab. You just didn't realize it because you were drinking for 20 days straight,
He was
and
going through
the title
withdrawals,
was
doing
in like,
yoga.
yeah, it was in like Thai or whatever the alphabet is that they use, so you just didn't
yeah,
know it.
yeah. But back to your like question about health. Like even though I was drinking at least 2 or 3 beers every day, and then a lot more when I felt like going on a more in-depth bar crawl and eating outside food every single day, I didn't gain any weight. I came
Really?
back. I didn't. I came back maybe like 2 or 3 pounds, like less than I.
Were you focused on like not like overeating or just because you were busy and it wasn't bad food, like it
So
wasn't
like,
overly processed food and stuff?
yeah, I was kind of like on like the backpacker mentality of like, I'm like hungry. If I'm like hungry, I'll eat. If not, I'll still mind skipping meals. I wasn't really going to fancy restaurants because I just didn't want to. That's not my like thing. I don't really care about that. So I was eating local food, and like the portion sizes are a lot smaller, and you're sweating all day, every day, doing all these activities, walking around all the time. So
Right.
yeah, it was fine.
Damn. Damn. So I guess if you could summarize your trip up in like a couple sentences and like if you'd recommend it to people, how'd you do that?
Highly recommend taking the leap and going for it. If you didn't, I squeezed so many places into 3 months. Maybe if you wanted to go to 1 or 2 places for a long time, that's okay too. But I think everyone should, if they have the opportunity, do that to enjoy yourself, yes. To learn about other cultures, yes. But it's for me like a big part of it was like the internal thing of like I really want to step out of my comfort zone, do something I'll never do something I never thought I would do, and go somewhere alone and just have to figure it out by myself, make new friends by myself, choose a whole itinerary by myself. No one's telling me anything, no what to do. I'm just like, whatever's worth it to me, I do. Whatever's not worth it to me, I don't do. Whoever I want to meet, I spend more time with. Whoever I don't want, I can walk away from. Just the stepping out of your comfort zone thing challenge for me, and like putting myself out there. That was my favorite part, and I'm really happy I did that. So I would recommend doing that for everybody. Doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't even have to be traveling, I guess, if you want to be really philosophical about it.
Just
Just
step out of your comfort zone.
yeah, step out of your comfort zone.
How
Yeah.
much how much shit did people talk to you as an American? Like I remember back in the day when I worked with a lot of people from all around the world, like every day you'd hear, "Oh, American? Oh, George Bush." Oh, like every day
Yeah,
you'd hear some shit about America. Did you
all
get
the
shit
time.
talked all?
Yeah,
Did you
all
throw
the time.
down? Did you pop them in their fucking mouth, or did you let them talk shit
Yeah,
about America?
I wasn't. I didn't want to be like the representative of America, like everywhere I go went. And I just wanted to like someone would say something like bad, like I guess bad about America, about our culture, politics, how fucked up people think it is here. I would like. I'd just be like, yeah, I guess I can see how you see that. I wasn't like gonna like have a debate about someone on vacation about like
Right. I can see how
Yeah,
defending
the
yeah,
what you
our.
see in the news leads you to that assumption, you
Yeah.
know?
Actually, what
yeah.
one thing out when I was in Vietnam in Ho Chi Minh City, one of like the excursions or like everyone should do while you're there was going to, it's called the Cu Chi tunnels. I know it's tunnels.
The coochie
Um,
tunnels?
yeah, it's literally called the Cu Chi tunnels. It's like during the Vietnam War, like the Vietnamese like soldiers had these like crazy intricate tunnels underneath underground, and you go to they still exist today, and like you go underground, you go on a tour of it, and the museum, and then there's like a museum and everything, but there was like 50 people on this tour, and I was the only American on the whole tour. So like on the bus ride there, they're like everyone's going back and forth, like talking about where they're from, and then like the guy asked me where I was from. I was like, yeah, I'm from America, and then everyone was like, oh, and then even the guide was like, yeah, we're friends today, but not one. uh it wasn't always like that, or something like that. I was like, all right.
Did you throw a grenade in the fucking tunnel or what?
Oh my god. No,
Actually,
yo,
Wait, you say actually what?
no, they went like over that in part of the tour. They said like American soldiers used to like try to throw grenades in these tunnels, but they like it manufactured it in a way that like the grenade would like go and like not be effective. It was crazy.
Yeah.
bro, I've heard some stories. One of my instructors in a class I took in Texas in like 2010 was a guy who was in Vietnam, and his role there, like part of his role there, was to crawl in those tunnels with like a
He's a
knife in his
tunnel rat?
teeth. Yeah, like a
Holy
pirate,
shit.
bro. And like you could just, I assume like you come in like big ass rooms at some point, right? As you're crawling through these tunnels, and like you could pop in on like 20 dudes.
Yeah,
Like,
there was like a meeting room or like a kitchen and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
they knew that like Americans would just try to crawl in there. They had like all these traps and like snakes in there, venomous snakes. They had like
Yeah, false tunnels that like you go and like
Yeah.
it was really crazy intricate.
fuck that.
You said you went to Thailand. You said you went to Thailand?
yeah.
Did you go to like a Muay Thai, one of the like a fight?
Yeah. So
Oh, I'm so jealous.
actually that was a really cool excursion thing to do. They would take you on fights. They know like every Westerner person wants to do it, so it's super expensive. But what I, when I was in Thailand, I did this thing called the full moon party. Um, it's like this. Everyone just goes to this one island on the south of Thailand, and like 10,000 people just go to this huge party on the beach. It's really fun. The day before, they have another party called the Jungle Experience. Anyway, like part of what that party, like they had like for our entertainment, I guess they had like Muay Thai fighting. It was crazy. Like professionals or amateurs,
Yeah.
they looked professional to me. They had like they were fighting each other, and like yeah, I could that's intense. And also because in Thailand, like like growing up in the United States, like every kid like plays soccer and like runs around or like plays little league. Like most kids over there, like they all know Muay Thai. Like you just walk around with all these local people. You're just like in the back of your mind think like any of these local people like could fuck me up because like they all
Yeah, if I get robbed, I just gotta let him take it from me.
yeah. But like but that and at that party like yeah, so like the show, the Muay Thai show was over, and then you still have this like arena stage thing set up, and it's just completely empty, and then like all like the freaking Americans and like the European people just like okay, who wants to fight?
Oh,
They start
fuck.
getting all jacked up, dude. I fucking hate that when you go to
Yeah.
bars and like maybe there's like a title fight on, and that next thing you know, like every guy thinks he's a trained fighter and like wants to like if you look at him the wrong way, he wants to fight you. That's the dumbest shit. I saw this documentary where they have like a prison, and they have prisoners that train Muay Thai. They'll fight fighters that they bring in, like foreign fighters, and they'll have Muay Thai matches, and like the winners, I think, get like a reduced sentence or something like that. So it's like literally like a fight for your freedom type situation. And yeah, like foreigners come in, like to your point, everyone's throwing money on it. There's bets and shit. Like they're making money off of it. I mean, things that would never happen here, but that's pretty legit.
Pretty entertaining.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's like a movie over here. It's a movie over there. It's like a real, they lived it.
Yeah. Was that like the longest yard? Like they had the big prisoners play the
football game?
Football?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
But like the Muay Thai version of it.
Yeah. And if are you like single or engaged or married or anything like that?
No, I have a girlfriend and a kid. We've been together for like a little over 2 years.
Got it. Okay, and you were able to just like go off for 3 months. You was like all chill with that and all that. That's legit.
Yeah. We talked every day, like we FaceTime like all the time. She was super cool about everything and very, very understanding how this was like a long, like once in a lifetime thing. And I had like the idea and planned this trip before we even started dating. She understood that I was eventually going to go to grad school and like take a trip.
Yeah.
It was very hard to be away for that long. But the good part was like she did meet me in Portugal for a week. That was
Yeah.
the nice part of it.
How
Yeah.
was how was coming back and going to school? Like,
Yeah, the day, so I thought like I planned it out like so I came back a week before starting grad school, but like they had all this like orientation stuff like the week before school. So I got back from Budapest on Sunday night and Monday morning I had to go to orientation in New York City.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was no rest, man.
And so it's you're going to school for your master's in acquisitions and development.
The job eventually that I want to get is going to be in acquisitions and development or one or the other or a mixture of the both. But the degree, like the school, NYU has a school called the Shack Institute of Real Estate. And then in the program, you can do like a specialization in real estate finance and investments, or you can do real estate development. I'm doing real estate development because I had the construction background and like that's what I wanted to do as a career.
Yeah, that makes sense. Were you just kind of like fed up or tired of the construction side, or you knew this like was your next step in your career, what you wanted to do, and you needed that experience?
Yeah. Working in construction project management, as you know, it's like great experience. You can learn a lot. You can make good money, but it's just not something I saw myself doing for the rest of my life. Like I was getting super burnt out. Um, and I knew like I always was interested more in like the finance and investment side of things. Like I would like whenever we were on a project call with like the owner and he was making decisions about like a financial decision of like what type of like materials he should use or what type of like how we should like orientate a room to like make the most revenue. Like I like lit up and I was like so like interested in like all that type of thing. And I knew that like if I wanted to make the jump from like just construction to more than that, just develop all the whole one step above that, I guess the developer side, I would have to get a additional degree, further
Yep.
education, and like build a real estate network, not just a construction network.
And so the goal is not to be like a project manager for this company, right? But more on the like the being part of the whole thing, that determining where you want to buy property, your company wants to buy properties, and then kind of overseeing throughout the construction process, or
First you would like look for new investment opportunities, either a broker or you would go out there and try to find it yourself, and then you would acquire land and you would do all the financial analysis and like the feasibility studies of like what's the highest and best use of this land? Should we build office? Should we build residential? Should we build a mixed use? What is it close to transit or like doing all that due diligence? You would do all of that, and then you would go to investors and raise that equity and debt, and you would build a whole pro forma, and then you would, if that all went well, then you would hire the design team, and then eventually a general contractor, and then you would build the whole thing, and then afterwards you would hire a leasing team, get it all leased up, and then either your company buys and holds long term, or they sell it, or maybe holds it for a while and sells it. So you're involved in the entire process. I was only involved in just the construction side, but now I'm trying to do the entire thing.
who are the big companies in that game? I guess I don't really know.
Yeah. So luckily, the good nice part about working at Tishman was that like they're the one of the biggest, if not the biggest, construction company in the city.
Yep.
So like all the big developers like related companies that built Hudson Yards, Heinz, who partnered with SL Green to build One Vanderbilt. Um, there's Extel properties. There's huge institutional developers, and then there's mid-sized guys, and then even smaller developers, all like just doing multifamily stuff. So I don't know which tier I want to go to. I think I just want to start somewhere, and then I'll decide later if I want to work small developer or like a huge company.
Right. No, that sounds cool. Sounds really interesting. So you wouldn't be involved in like the actual raising of the capital, right? That'd be somebody else, or is that part of what you'd be going to school for?
Yeah, there's investment committee and a lot of big developers, but I think you would still like be presenting like to an investment committee like why this project is like good and a good investment and why you should invest.
Yep. Yeah, that
After
sounds
you
really cool.
after you're like a successful developer, do you have any like reality TV or presidential ambitions?
You know, they say that in grad school all the time. Like when you tell people you're gonna work in development, they're gonna see like, oh, so you want to be like Donald Trump?
I had you, man. The whole time I'm like, should I make a joke? Should I not make a joke?
Are you up on
It's
the
fun.
court case with him from a month ago? Or if not, we don't need to talk about it. But Rich and I were texting about it last night, and I wasn't sure if have you paid attention at all to it?
Not at all. I saw that viral video of like they're panning around the courtroom and like everyone's so serious and then they pan to the judge and he does like this like office
Oh,
like
he's
the
like,
office.
yeah,
Yeah. That's
yeah.
so funny.
Yeah, that's if I saw that, I'd be like, not really. If I was like, if I was a defendant, I'd be like, I don't know if I feel very comfortable. This is going to be a very impartial trial.
Uh, yeah, I guess I don't what I was texting Rich about last night is what I don't get about that case is that the it sounds like the big issue is that his company or whatever inflated their real estate property values on their financial statements to get better insurance rates and to get better bank loans. But everything that I've done in real estate, the bank and the insurance companies are going to verify with an appraiser for all of that stuff. So
There was no due diligence. Like there's nothing.
so that's what I don't get. Like, why, even if they did do that, why is it illegal? I mean, shouldn't the banks and the insurance companies be verifying all that stuff before they loan money or charge rates? I guess that's where I'm losing when I'm reading all these articles. I'm like, I'm missing something here. They're not giving us all the information. It's just weird. I don't know.
Is it like a RICO type charge in the sense that, like, even though he probably had absolutely nothing to do with that, he was many steps removed. Even though he was, indirectly involved, he could be liable for something like that. Like, I don't get it either. Like, I just bought a house, right? Like, I would love to be able to say the house is worth less because I could pay less property taxes, and then when I have to sell it, I say, well, actually, by the way, now this is a $10 million house. But I would love, and like the banks and insurance are just like, sure, right? But I think, yeah, there's something, I don't know. There's some things about it that are don't make sense to me. But again, I'm also not sitting on the jury. I'm not looking at anything. I'm just seeing what I see from the outside, and
I don't know. I feel like we're not getting all the information. I don't know.
Well, that would never happen. You're silly.
Okay, so I guess
If he can get away with it, you can too.
What's that?
I said if he can get away with it, maybe you can too.
So you got your hobbies down here as a topic. And I see boxing. Have you been boxing?
Actually, I was gonna ask you about that. I saw like some videos about you like sparring people.
Oh no, it was just my buddy Marv who we had on actually. It'll be 2 episodes before yours airs, so it was actually this last Monday. He's got pretty into boxing, and um, he he used to be in my unit when I go down for drill. But after drill, one of the recent drill weekends, he asked if I could spar with him so he could like practice getting hit in the face. And he's like, I won't hit you in the face. Yeah, because he hasn't fought yet, but he wants to in the next couple months. And so,
Yeah.
it was just weird for me. And I even knew I was acting like a little bitch. Like I would like, and I knew he couldn't punch me in the face, and I still would like I wasn't trying to hit him at first. He's like, nah, bro, like hit me. And I'm like, okay. And then he'd start throwing body shots. And then I was backing up like a little bitch. I'm like, okay, no, come on. He's like, yeah, it takes you like it takes you a while to get used to like actually like hitting someone you actually don't want to hit in the face. But no, I'm not boxing myself. Yeah, I don't know.
I was
That's all
taking
that was.
boxing lessons for a while, but just to learn, I think everyone should know like a little bit. I guess if you ever had it to defend yourself, but
Yeah.
uh,
No, he's
Jocko
doing like
Willink
is.
always.
go ahead.
a lot harder than.
Oh no, all you, man, all you. So
Yeah.
No, I'm just gonna say just taking like very basic boxing like lessons just to
Mhm.
like learn. It was like so hard. Like you need to constantly pay attention, like your form and your stance, and like not have your arms wagging all over the place. Always keep your hands up. Yeah, it was bad. I
It's a
mean, it's
crazy
hard.
workout. Like
Yeah, yeah,
before we did that little sparring thing, he was hitting the bag for like 2 or 3 minute rounds. He only did like three of them, and he came back. He was like fucking drenched, and I'm like, shit, man. And he's
Yeah.
lost like 25 pounds since he started. I think he's been going 3 or 4 times a week for 3 or 4 months. So he's been putting some work in, and he's lost 25 pounds or so.
Yeah, I
Um,
should definitely get a heavy bag. I feel like it is it's good for like muscle tone and all that too. But I think you're to your point about everyone should know how to defend themselves. Like I agree. And Jocko Willink always says, I think Joe Rogan talks about this. A lot of guys talk about this, but it's true. Like if you were to, I mean, look, the world's going fucking crazy, right? Like look what we saw the other day. Now, obviously, you being a good boxer or anything like that's not going to stop a bullet, and no one's going to be able to outrun a bullet. But like the world's just nuts, dude. People are literally like there's a lot of sickness going around right now, like mental illness and all that. And like even in New York City, I'd be walking down the street and like one time this like homeless guy just like tried to spit on me and like just like there's a lot of aggressive people out there. You go to a bar, you look like we said, you look at a guy the wrong way, like so you have to ask yourself like if that happens, like do you feel like you're comfortable enough to be able to defend yourself because you don't know that person and if you go down and you black out, you don't know if you're going to wake up again.
right.
Who's to say they're going to stop? Like you see all these videos of people beating the shit out of people, bouncing heads around when someone's blackout right on the ground. So like I think it is important for people more than ever to know how to defend themselves. I'm not saying you have to be like a black belt in jujitsu or you have to be like a Golden Gloves champion, but like if you were to get a little bit of training, you're probably better than I would say like 90% of Americans.
yeah. I guess like yeah, defending yourself, but I'm not like boxing is like an art form where both people are like really like trying to like it's like play chess, like bob and weave, trying
Yeah.
to get into someone's guard. Something like a bar fight is just like a brawl. Like you just need to know how to like you said, defend yourself. Not you don't
Not get
really need.
killed.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
get
yeah.
killed.
Or just be smart too and like also like sometimes suck up your pride and like disengage.
Yeah, don't get
Because
in the
like
bar fight.
yeah, don't get in a fight. Like if the guy's really aggressive, like you might look like a pussy in front of like maybe you're afraid of looking like a pussy in front of the girl you're with, or like maybe just like your guy friends. But at the end of the day, like let's just say you knock the guy out or you win the fight. This guy presses charges, right? Like everyone's too happy. Like it just seems like there's no winner. But so I think that's step one, how you disengage. But then yeah, step two is like if somebody starts throwing, like are you able to yeah, I guess defend yourself. And I think when you talk about like the chess, like when you watch UFC or something, or even boxing in general, it's like they're throwing punches like every 30 seconds because they're just squaring up. They're like changing stance and like they're just waiting for it. And you're like, what do you just swing? Well, no, they're like the most technical fighters, so shit just takes forever sometimes. I enjoyed it.
What about scuba diving? You got scuba diving here.
Oh
Ooh.
yeah, that was part of my trip. I got scuba diving certified. I did my open water diving training in Thailand, and then I did so with that certifies you to dive open water anywhere up to I think 30 feet. I think it is like 10 meters, and then you do advanced training, and then that you can dive anywhere up to like 100 feet. So it was a
Damn.
lot of fun.
Have you gone since you got your certification anywhere?
No, so that the good so a lot of people get certified in Thailand because and Bali because it's like so cheap to do it. It was like around $300 USD, which seems like a lot, but if you want to do it in the United States, I think it's like three times that. Yeah, and also like the oceans in here are a lot worse than there. So like it's like you see a lot of like marine life there, and it's a fun activity to do, and you can learn, and then you can make friends doing it too.
Was the water pretty clear where you were? Or
Yeah, water was super clear everywhere. I saw sea turtles, I saw manta rays, it was awesome.
yeah, I feel like unless you go like south in the US down to like Florida or down into the Caribbean somewhere, you're like if you go off the shore, you're just gonna it's all murk and you're not gonna
Yeah.
really see that much. I don't know.
You went to Key West, right? Like that. I'm sure like I think people scuba dive over there in the US.
Yeah, I did snorkeling there, and you could see a
Okay.
bunch of shit. So, but we were only whatever it is, 10, 15 feet deep. So,
Yeah.
well, it was pretty choppy. They like it was weird. They like so there's that was the time I was with like my family, and they like give you like the thing that floats and keeps you afloat. But the waves are pretty fucking choppy, and I'm like, maybe they should have given us a little more of a safety briefing because some people like I feel like I'm a pretty decent swimmer, but I feel like some people like they're getting rocked by those waves and definitely like
Mm.
sucking down a bunch of water through the snorkel and everything. And I don't
Well,
know.
so are you scuba certified or like snort like a free dive with a snorkel?
No, like full scuba, like you wear a tank and
Like
a
a rebreather
flotation.
and stuff?
Yeah, yeah, like a tank of oxygen, and like you wear a snorkel just when you're on the surface, but then you have like a regulator just to
Okay.
breathe oxygen, and then you have like a buoyancy device to like help you like stay like afloat while you're underwater. You can like not so you're not going constantly up and constantly down. So they train you on like how to use all the equipment, how to like navigate underwater, how to like swim around underwater, like how to
Yeah.
like save yourself if you're like run out of oxygen or something like that, which is just use someone else's oxygen. But,
That makes
No,
sense.
there you go. Yeah. Every man
yeah.
for himself.
Kill someone else and take their oxygen. That's how
Yeah.
you survive.
Yeah.
Careful.
Yeah, so, yeah, do all the training. Yeah, you do it like it's a three. It takes 3 days plus a written exam, and you can dive.
Okay.
Mm.
Not bad. I'm moving down to Florida, and I was down there recently, somewhat recently, and I went to like Dollar General and got a pair of like goggles. Right, and the water's like crystal clear, but I gotta say it was fucking awesome. Like I literally was like a kid, I would not get out of the water, and I'm like I should start like free diving and spearfishing when I go down here. So I like go online, start looking up all these videos on how to do it, all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of videos where like a shark just like all of a sudden like a tiger shark or something just comes by. And I'm like, you know what? Or then there's like a bay nearby, and I'm like, all right, that'd be cool. Like, oh, there's alligators in the bay. I'm like, all right, that's like sharks and alligators are two things I'm not gonna screw with. So I don't know. I
So
think
I
I'll
guess I'm
just
staying inside.
I guess yeah. I'll just stick with my Dollar General goggles and stay in my 3 foot of water trying to catch little tiny fish with a net.
But yeah, so in Bali it was like great diving because there's a UST Liberty shipwreck that is visible off the coast of Bali, and you can like go around and like swim inside like the shipwreck, and it's really cool. And then there's like current diving where you don't have to swim at all. Like the current is literally just taking you, and you just like kind of like are horizontal and just like kind of going with the current. That's really cool. Um,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
so there's a
the
lot of
shot down during World War II or before World War II or something. 1942. I'm looking at the right one. US 18 Liberty.
yeah. I want to yeah. So you can actually they built like a whole diving resort like right there just so people can like
That's cool.
dive every day and see that and go inside the shipwreck and everything.
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
And then there's manta ray. Like there's a area in Bali that's known for like where manta rays go to like feed and stuff like that. So obviously all the divers like go there, and these things are like freaking massive. I didn't like there's stingrays, which is like what you see and could see like a zoo or something. But then there's like manta rays, which are like huge, like 6 feet wide, I guess. And then I'm diving in Bali, and then everyone's looking for these manta rays, and I was just with one person, my instructor, doing the advanced training, and then we're diving to we go to this area and we see like this one manta ray, and they tell you obviously don't get too close, everything like that, and it's just chilling or whatever. And then we thought we were in a great spot because it was just us two, and then we turn around. There's like 50 other divers, just like, oh shit, a manta ray, let's all go over there. And then everyone crowds around this manta ray, and then it's starting to like notice that there's things around it, and then like it literally like it could have turned anywhere, but it turns right in my direction and like starts swimming towards me. And immediately my first reaction was like jump over to my like instructor, and but my instructor was like, there's like a hand signal. I forgot what it was. It means like calm down. Like there's a bunch of hand signals underwater, like like this and this and stuff like that. Like you did the hand signal for like, chill the fuck out. And I had to like I was scared, and then it eventually just like found something else it was interested in.
Isn't that the thing that killed the crocodile hunter?
I
Like
was that was a
Yeah,
stingray.
that was Stingray. This was manta ray, which is like a bigger, like it looks exactly the same. Maybe
it's like a
even
bigger
worse.
version.
Do they have like a stinger though, that
Yeah.
like a stingray,
Stingray versus manta ray.
or do they not have a stinger because sting's not in the name and it's also a ray,
It's just a manta.
just a manta.
I
They've got a mana. Dude,
Oh,
the crocodile
interesting.
hunter, man. That's still. I see all videos of his son now all the time.
You doing the same stuff?
His last name. So I saw one video like I don't know 3 months ago of the crocodile hunter when he was like, he's like, give me all the money in the world because what I'll do with it is I'll just buy land so that nobody could like use it anymore except for the animals. Like there's like nothing left anymore. Everyone's just building shit everywhere, left and right, and like throwing this up and that up. And he's like, give me all the money, I'll just buy land. And no, he was just a good soul.
All I can think of is the Shane Gillis stand up when I start talking about people with like Australian accents.
No, yeah, dude, that guy is.
Getting picked on by an Australian goth. Have you seen that stand up yet, too?
No,
Oh, bro, you gotta watch it. It's so fucking funny.
He's really funny.
I mean, and I
YouTube
just go
one's
around
funny, too.
quoting it all the time now.
who's the comedian?
Shane Gillis.
He was on Saturday Night Live, but they said I don't know. All the things I've seen is he got fired. I don't really know for what joke, or probably a bunch of jokes.
I mean, all his jokes are
Oh,
inappropriate.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah.
I haven't seen his stand up yet. I just saw like the clips on Netflix where it's like, yeah, well, I'm dating this girl and like her ex is a Navy SEAL. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
He's like talking shit and saying the Taliban or Al Qaeda are cooler.
Yeah, he's like something like I actually
That's
think.
balls.
Yeah, I relate more with Al Qaeda. You know who's brave? Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
Or it's
They had
like-
one set of monkey bars and they sent that video out to the world.
Or it's like I'm
Not bad.
like turning into a history buff. We all know that's early onset Republican.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
You should watch that, the one on Netflix, and then watch the one on YouTube as well. And yeah, he's a crack up.
All right, time for the lightning round.
Lightning round.
Seth, round.
Round.
When you guys upgrade, you're gonna have like a.
Sorry,
machine
guys.
to
My
do that
kid is
for you.
my kid is over here doing a concert for me. I don't think he needs to chime in for this.
Does he have any questions for our guest?
Do you have any questions? Hang on, I might be able. Let me see if I can pull this off real fast for our YouTube video. You have any questions?
So,
There you go. You wave.
That's
good enough.
literally a small version of you.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, see? There you go. That was his question. All right, lightning round. Who's going first?
Round. I'll go first. Sue, what are 3 things on your bucket list? Besides travel for 3 months.
Yeah,
yeah,
from the last two.
I don't want to be so generic, but like I've still never skydived, so I want to do skydiving. Still never. I want to travel more in Europe. I did Asia. I want to do more in Europe. And 3, bucket list. I don't know. I can't only do 2 right now.
Oh, you got to do a 3rd marathon.
Third, yeah. Well, yeah, the 3rd marathon. That'll be on my bucket list.
Seth
Rich. There's Seth.
or
All
I'll
right.
go.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch one up from a normal one because we didn't actually bring it up on this podcast, and it's kind of my heartbreaking. I'm gonna need you to tell me if you believe in aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I believe in aliens. There's no way in this vast, giant like universe, we're just a tiny little like micro speck. There's no way we're the only living species in the entire universe. Like,
100% agree.
yes, I believe in aliens.
We'll talk.
Okay.
We'll talk a little bit more about aliens because you're right. We forgot about those after the lightning round.
With the magic of editing, we could put it before the lightning round.
Right.
Tyler, you want to go next?
Okay. What is the best book you've ever read or
Yeah,
listened to?
I'm not a super avid reader. I mostly just read like news and articles and stuff. But a book I'm reading right now that's going to be a good one is How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie.
Oh, yep.
And one that I just got on my Kindle that I know it's going to be good. And I probably it's going to be one of the best ones. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yep. Mark Manson, is that who wrote it?
Like I'm not sure yet.
But yeah,
That's fine. Yeah, so
I could
those
listen
those
to both.
are really good.
Good
If you
call.
could, if you could time travel, both either forwards or backwards, where would you go?
Yeah, I don't think I would go forward because I don't know. We're
In
already
6 months, there might not be one.
yeah. You mean like maybe I would go all the way back and just buy like all the Yahoo and Amazon and Microsoft stocks that I could and just knowing what you know, like so probably that just to get rich.
Mm,
I like it.
that's a good
I don't,
one.
although I don't know
Got
I
me
don't know what
thinking.
it's like. I don't know what it's like for everyone. Wasn't society wasn't really the same for everyone like the 60s or
Also true. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking it would be like better to be rich in the 90s or better to be rich now. Anyway. Um, okay. I think Seth, you're up next.
If you could have dinner with any famous person, past, present, anything like that, who would it be?
also a hard one. Yeah, I feel like that's a really common question, but I actually never had to answer it. Maybe like Jay-Z or something like that. Something like that. I know
Ooh,
people are paying like $500,000 to have dinner with it. Maybe I'd try to do it for free if I could.
that's a good one. That's a good one. No one said that yet, I don't think. Rich, you get both of your questions? I can't.
No, I got one more. I'm just laughing because what he had said about time travel. I'm thinking about like if I went back in time like 100 years and I'd be like, oh my god, it's so cool. But then because I'm Italian, people were just like hated Italians. So you just find yourself in an environment where you're literally like being treated like total shit. It's like I'm gonna see my great grandfather and know what he was like as a young man, and people just call me all sorts of names and not anyway. Um,
Is that why you're laughing? You're just laughing to yourself about that?
Yeah, because it wasn't that long ago where Italians and Irish and all that were also treated pretty terribly. So it's like if you were to go back in time, like to certain places in the U.S., you're like, oh, this is so fun, and then like as soon as you step out of the pod, there's like a you know like somebody who's anyway. Just be funny. That kind of be fun. I was thinking that's funny. Anyway, so what's a song that you hear that when you hear it, it takes you back to a specific time and place, and where is that specific time and place?
What? So I you do playlists on Spotify, and I do a lot of throwback music, and I'm like a huge fan of 50 Cent. And sometimes I'll listen to Get Rich or Die Trying and stuff,
Yeah.
or other albums. And then remember that really hit song "In the Club" by 50 Cent,
Dude,
Oh
obviously.
yeah.
yes,
2001.
yes.
Whenever I play that song, like it brings me back to like elementary school because like you like in the summer you'd be driving like down the highway or something like that, and you're like, or even a local road, like people have their windows down. That song was playing in like every single person's car. So it reminds me of like elementary school childhood stuff.
Oh, I guess it was '03. I said '01. I was wrong. But yeah, that song was so fucking good.
Yeah, that's my fiance always like is like, oh, it's your favorite rapper every time that song, dude, that song never gets old.
Never.
I love that song. Yeah, and the music video too, when he like just like comes out of nowhere from the top when he was doing like
Yeah,
the
he's like,
sit-ups and they point, it's like go, go. Yeah.
remember you saw that like in the Super Bowl, they like tried to recreate that, and then like he was just fat and got roasted.
I felt so bad for him, man. He really was getting fat shamed after that, but I'm sure it bothered him a little
I don't know
bit
if
because he
I don't
used
know
to
if
be
it's true,
jacked.
but like he got like some sponsorship with like Weight Watchers after that.
Really?
I don't know if it's true, but something happened. We'll look.
He's the Bowflex. He's the new Chuck Norris.
Is the Bowflex still a thing? I feel like they don't make that
I
Oh
don't
anymore.
yeah, it's
know.
absolutely. They
Is
got
it?
like
Oh,
they
they
got
got
a
the
ton of
dumbbells.
different things now. They got dumbbells. They've got the perfect push up. They've got the pull up thing.
But the
They're
machine
huge now.
itself isn't still a thing, right? Like people don't
Like the
still buy
one with
those.
the bendy bands? No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
But to go back to your comment, Rich, about 50 Cent feeling bad about people calling him fat. I'm guessing when he's like wiping his tears with the $100 bills from all the money he's made over the years, I think he's doing okay.
Yeah,
I think
people
he'll be
say
okay.
that. People say that, but I don't know, man. I feel like,
Rich people have feelings too, man, and they can
yeah,
get
rich people have feelings
True.
too.
So I guess
Yeah.
we'll dive into aliens a little bit more before we call it a wrap, because we have to. No, okay.
Yeah, so aliens. So rewind. Aliens. Let's talk about them.
So Suv, you said you definitely believe in them. What do you think like an encounter would look like? It like, or have they come to Earth already? Are they
Like
nice?
here.
Are they trying to fuck us up? Like,
Well, I think I don't think we're in our lifetimes gonna send like a spaceship out to space and find an alien. I think if we were gonna have an alien encounter, they would be like coming to Earth, either, I don't know, trying to take over or something. But like, it even more broad than that, like we have our like states of matter, solid, liquid, gas. You don't even know if there's other states of matter. You don't even know like there's like another
Mm.
type of state of matter that another thing could be alive, and they could have been visiting the U.S. Earth and then left or something like that. I don't know.
they could
Like
just be
if you
like
even want to get,
invisible
yeah, it could be even invisible to like humans.
or float through things, and we'd never see them if they're invisible and can float through things, and just they're here. And yeah, I
Yeah.
could see that.
What if they just? I mean, I kind of made a joke one time, like they've got social anxiety and that's why they never introduce themselves. But like, what if they? I guess like the more you kind of think about it, right? Like, would they ever introduce themselves? It's kind of like when a person goes into the jungle and you're like looking at like a bunch of like chimpanzees, right? Like everyone's just kind of looking. It's not like it's like one or two people have been like, I'm gonna go say hello. Like, you know what I mean? Like not many, like Jane, whatever, and then like the other guy that got killed by the gorillas. Like, it's most people that don't, like, they just look and then eventually you back off. Like maybe they're just looking at us and maybe one or two have been like, I'm gonna go engage with them, but it's been like so
Well,
minute that no one knows.
if aliens have the technology to make it to Earth and then have the ability to leave, that means they have the ability to like annihilate us.
That's
That's what
exactly my thought. That's exactly
we've
my
said. We've
thought.
said that, but like, what if they excel in travel, right? But they don't really excel in warfare because they never had to, or like, you know what I mean? Like, just because they're really good at space travel doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be like great warriors
That is a good
or
point.
armed to the teeth. I mean,
Okay, but they come here, they see we're fucking crazy, and then they're like, okay, let's go back home and then build that weapon and come back just in case we need it.
What
that's
if they
true.
don't even know what the concept of death is? Like, what if they've never died, never
Mm,
killed anything? They don't know. They just know that there's living.
that's true. That's a good point. That's true. Well, I
Hmm.
wonder if you put a weapon in their hand, though, they'd probably be like, "This, this thing's fucking awesome." Like, they probably would want to build something like, "What, we can make all these enhancements, but this is really fun." I mean, most people that shoot guns agree it's fun.
True.
Except
You
that one
guys see
guy
that
that said
like
he had PTSD from shooting an AR-15. That guy's a fucking
you probably already talked about this, but you saw that like little alien thing that got discovered in like Mexico or something like that.
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yo,
What is that?
Caboose,
Like I
Caboose
don't
was on
really
here, and I think Caboose mentioned, and I didn't see it before he did, but it was they were joking around about it just being a slice of cake or something.
You just cut into it.
like everything is cake.
It's like they were just like cake aliens or something.
Well, there was one in Peru or Guatemala or something. Like recently, a girl had an alien encounter, like scratched her face, and then everyone they denied that it was probably like a cartel or something like that. Like, 'cause people are like, well, I think it's a cartel. There's cartels in the area, and they're like, no, 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 definitely an alien. And we're like, all right, I don't know. Like, I'm seeing after the fact, but I don't think there's any compelling evidence that there's. I believe in aliens, I guess, but I don't think there's like compelling evidence that there's aliens today. Like, you see UFOs and stuff, but I do think it could be the government.
Have you watched that Moment of Contact yet from the Virginia, Brazil one that Rogan always talks about? I haven't watched it yet, but
No.
it seems pretty compelling, that one. I haven't watched it, but that in Virginia, Brazil in like 1996, a spaceship crash landed, and there were like multiple people describing the stories of the encounter they had with them about somebody drove him in a car and that dude ended up dying of some crazy shit like bacterial infection shortly after, and then
Wait, like a guy drove an alien in a car?
because it was like fucked up and like he was trying to get to the hospital, they took it to a hospital and like the nurses got all fucked up or something like that, and then two girls saw it like walking through the streets as it was before the guy had picked it up, and like they had a different encounter, and uh but in the end, apparently the U.S. government, and apparently in the end the U.S. government came in, captured it, and took it home or something.
I'm thinking about the guys like he's like an Uber driver. He's like, "You want some waters?" To like, he got some waters in the back to the alien. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Five-star rating.
Yeah. Well, it's like language barrier. Like there's like some for the review that he leaves.
But the way again, I haven't seen it, the way Rogan talks about it though is like there's this one guy who said he saw it and like you could just see like the sadness and the fear in his face as he's like not like now an old man. I guess it's been 20 something years, 30 years almost.
What's it called?
Moment of Contact. It's on Amazon. It's one you have to pay for. That's why I haven't watched it yet. Moment of
Okay.
Contact. It's about Varginha, Brazil, and he's had the dude who put it together on the podcast at some point.
Okay, I gotta watch. I mean, yeah, like I said, I believe in aliens. I just don't know, like you saw that thing. It was 1989. That thing that was like this long could float and go in different directions, and you're like, all right, it's made for like taking down nukes. So if you had that in the 80s,
Yeah.
like I would fucking hope by now you'd have like ships or whatever that could do something like that, and I would hope that some of the things we're seeing that the F-18 pilots are like, oh my god. I would kind of hope we own that just in case shit does break out. I guess I would kind of hope we own that. There's pluses and negatives, but yeah, you could be right though. I mean, they could be able to jack us up, but why? So if you think that they exist, and you think they've been here, you said.
I'm saying it could be that they even came already and they're just invisible. We just never saw them.
Mm.
They left like we're just useless and like destroying our own planet. So why would we need to like?
Yeah, why would we?
Let's let them kill themselves off over the next couple thousand years, and we'll come back and take over.
Yeah, the real estate developers like you, they're just waiting for us to destroy ourselves, and they got this whole rock to build oceanfront property.
Well, okay, so we know that the U.S. will be wiped off the map, and probably China and Russia, but the rest of the world to be inhabitable. I don't know.
Yeah, right. So, do you think what would be the reason that they wouldn't have? You think because we're just like dumb and savage, and they don't want to like, engage with us?
I think maybe they would just see us as like useless, or in my opinion, I think there's so it would be like so like I said so technologically advanced, and we would be like Neanderthals to them, and it wouldn't make sense for them to even like wouldn't be even like worth their time.
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta wonder like if humans like came in contact with Neanderthals, like how we would treat something like that. There'd be a population of people that would just fuck with them. So like I don't know. I just feel like if aliens were here, they'd probably be fucking with us too.
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I think my current running theory is that the encounters we've had have just been scouts, right? Not like a massive invasion. And so we do have some alien technology that we're probably keeping under wraps for the most part until World War III breaks out, and then we'll need to use it. But eventually, I feel like when people find out their scouts haven't returned home, then maybe there's something massive that comes. I don't know. That's my running theory.
Like that's when the invasion comes.
I don't know about an invasion, but like either maybe it's not something that comes. Maybe it's just like, okay, we're not going there. They capture our dudes, and like, yeah, let's stay away from that one. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Or they just see what's going on now and they're like, yo, these guys are violent and crazy and like don't go anywhere near
Yeah.
there.
Where the aliens
There's
came here already, took over, and we're just living in the Matrix right now. You never know.
True.
so do you believe in the simulation theory or do you think it's like credible?
We're all like saying we're all in a simulation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the whole theory, but like I just know the movie, The Matrix, and you would never know.
You would never know. There's so many clown things that happen all the time. You put on the news, there's so much hypocrisy and clown shit that when you see it, you're like, how is that even real? And I almost feel like maybe we are in a simulation and they're just like fucking with everyone to see, like gathering the data. Like, how are they going to react to X, Y, and Z? So,
Yeah.
I think I proved it one time, the simulation theory, but I won't go into it. I lost those papers.
Rich, I've got one problem with your simulation theory. who is and who isn't a part of the simulation? Like, is it different for every human being? And like, all of you guys are fake in my simulation? Are there select of us that are being stuck in a simulation? How does this work?
Ooh, Seth. I gotta take one back to my laboratory and circle back on that one. I think I don't know. I don't know.
Everyone could be living in their own perfect version of their own simulation.
That's actually that could be true too. Like, what if we were like the corporeal form of some species that was plugged in or integrated with something elsewhere, and everyone's kind of playing through their own video game? We're like avatars. Like, what if we're their avatars that walk on two legs? You know what I mean? Like who knows? That you have to drink water to live. How
And
stupid
when we go
is
to
that?
sleep, they're just back living their real life.
That's when they shut off their console.
You
Right.
know,
It's
like,
when
you
they
know,
like
like
turn the
my
Xbox
like
off.
that reality show, like My 500-Pound Life. Someone's not paying attention to their fucking.
Yeah, yeah. They're just really. It's like in The Sims when you
They've
would
just
build a
been
house.
away from their avatar for a long time. They just let
Someone's
it
been
go.
AFK. Someone's been AFK for like 30 years.
Yeah, dude. Or it's that like sadistic person that has like The Sims. Are like, I'm gonna have a house with no doors and no windows, and I'm gonna start a fire. Like, like I don't know if you had any. I had some friends like that growing up. I don't associate with them anymore. But it's some weird sadistic person that's just like making their avatar. Not even obese. I don't even know what the word for it is. 600 pounds. How do you? Here's a question. Like, how do you not get to a certain point? Like, you don't think like 250, 300 pounds is maybe like a point to get to where you're like, I gotta like make some changes. 400 pounds, 500. You finally got to 600 pounds, and now you're like, maybe I gotta make a change.
I was watching a quick short on, I don't know what it was, YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. One of the girls on there had a box of pizza at the end of her hospital bed and was saying she didn't eat it. And like her boyfriend was like, no, she didn't eat it. I ate it. And you could clearly tell he was lying. And like she was like, just like, yo.
There's all like pizza sauce and oil on her chin. And dude, one time I saw my 600-pound life, and there was a lady. It's actually not funny. She had the surgery. The guy she was with was wearing a shirt that had burgers and fries on it, and he was making her make like hamburgers for him. And she was like crying, like, how are you making me do this? Like, don't you know, like, this is like tempting me and I shouldn't be doing this. He's like, just because you gotta lose weight doesn't mean I can't eat like this anymore. Like, you get on it. Yeah. It was, dude, it's crazy. Some of the shit on that show, but I still maintain. And it's funny, the doctor sometimes the shit that he says to people, he's like a little brutal. But I guess at a certain point, somebody needs to be like just straight up with you. They can't be like, sweetie, you're a little overweight. Like, no, you're like 400 pounds overweight.
Yeah. I don't know.
You're 5'2". Like you're you're 200 pounds. Like, I don't know. That always is what I scratch my head about the most.
Well, on that note, I think it's a good
You think-
spot to end the episode.
Do you think aliens? Never mind. We'll just end it. We'll just end it.
So we'll end the recording. Just hang on for a sec, Sue. But yeah, thanks for joining today. Sue was a blast. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me. Well,
I
I
just
hope you
realized your
guys-
name was Sunny.
It's a nickname.
Oh, okay. Dude, I'd never call you.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
I was so
distracted.
confused by what to call you.
But yeah, thanks for joining, Sue.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All righty.
Take care, guys.